For all the failures that you see, for all the crazy stuff that you see, the question is usually, was this diversity or was this the deep state? Does Kamala look like somebody who can manage inflation? Probably not.
If it weren't for the countervailing influence of the non-woke Chinese movie consumer, we'd probably have a transsexual James Bond by now.
At the very least, can we expect the government not dump Haitians in our communities that rip the heads off of geese?
That was Darren Beattie, a former professor and also a far-right conspiracy theorist, and we'll show you why we labeled him that and others have labeled him that. Unfortunately, Donald Trump has just rehired him to be part of his second administration, despite the fact that he has a long record of saying racist things, saying sexist things. Beattie was appointed to serve as the acting undersecretary for public diplomacy and public affairs, that according to CNN is a key role that is responsible for helping shape US messaging abroad related to counterterrorism and violent extremism, according to the State Department website. Great. He actually worked for Trump during his first administration. CNN's K-File reported back in 2018 that Beattie, a former Duke University visiting instructor, spoke in 2016 to the H.L. Mencken Club, a gathering that has included white nationalist figures such as Richard Spencer and Peter Brimlow. Beattie, who was then working as a speechwriter in the Trump White House, defended his speech, claiming it was academic in nature. Now, he was fired from the Trump White House during Trump's first term after that article was published, and after that, Beattie founded the right-wing media outlet known as Revolver News, which is known for spreading some conspiracies about January 6th, the attack on the US Capitol, including allegations that federal agencies orchestrated it. So I guess Donald Trump pardoned a bunch of federal agency members who had orchestrated the January 6th Capitol riots. Now, he's been pretty brazen in his racism. In October, he tweeted the following: "Competent white men must be in charge if you want things to work. Unfortunately, our entire national identity is predicated on coddling the feelings of women and minorities and demoralizing competent white men." On January 6th, he actually cheered on the protesters beating the cops and breaking into the Capitol. He also went on a racially charged Twitter rampage with posts like this: "Tim Scott needs to learn his place and take a knee to MAGA."
Tim Scott's a Republican senator?
Republican senator, yes. "BLM must take a knee to MAGA. They must learn their place. Ibram Kendi needs to learn his place and take a knee to MAGA." I mean, he's got to diversify his talking points here a little bit.
But say the last line there too, because that really bothered me. Learn his proper role in our society.
Yeah. Another one, Kay Cole James of Heritage Foundation needs to learn her natural place and take a knee to MAGA. So even those who are on the right, supporters of Donald Trump, not good enough if you're a woman or a person of color.
So now on the conspiracy theory stuff, he thinks the federal government orchestrated January 6th, and that they might have put up some of the extreme groups to do it. Well, now they've been pardoned, so we could ask them, hey, were you working with the FBI? Because MAGA is celebrating those guys who were pardoned. So were they working with the FBI and are the bad guys, or are they the good guys who are celebrating? Which one is it? Well, it doesn't have to make any sense when you're a lunatic like Beattie. This guy's gonna do public diplomacy and public affairs for the State Department.
He seems super diplomatic.
Yeah.
But by the way, I'm sure you'll appreciate this one, Cenk. So this is a tweet from 2023 where he writes, "Middle class and working class white men are treated far worse in America than Uyghurs are in China."
Yeah.
That's the Muslim minority that was forced into re-education camps in China.
Yeah.
How many white men in America are being forced into re-education camps?
Yeah, look, guys, we fight for the working guy and working people in this country.
They are treated like trash. I will admit that.
More than anyone does. More than stack us up against any right-wing show, left-wing show, mainstream media show. We want higher wages, we want better health care, we want better conditions, we want more freedom, and we want the working class to have justice in this country, okay? But they're not in concentration camps in China. What kind of ludicrous talk is this? And so, okay, but most importantly, what's with take a knee, get on your knees, and what kind of weirdo pervert loser is this guy? So, a black professor should know his role in our society? No, brother, it's all of our society. And I know that you don't believe that because that's not an accident that you went to a white nationalist get together, because every statement that we just read you is clearly white nationalist. And by the way, who does he attack on the Republican side? Oh, the black senator from South Carolina. Oh, what a shock from the guy who went to a white nationalist meeting. So now, in my opinion, as some of you might have seen in these super public fights recently, our side screaming racist, sexist, Nazi at everything is not helpful.
It's not, no. Because when the real disgusting racists and sexists like this guy come around, well, the American public's fatigued from hearing the argument being directed at everyone.
100% they don't believe you. They think we cried wolf too much, right? And to the MAGA guys who say, well, no, you're not allowed to call anyone racist. Well, I don't give a goddamn what you think I'm allowed to do or not, right? But I'm gonna call people who are racist, and I'm not going to call people racist just on a blanket assumption, okay? That is not at all helpful. But this guy constantly telling black people to get on their knees and know their role in society and telling women the same thing, etc. I got no interest in him. He is obviously a racist, and I don't mind saying it 1%. And if, by the way, if you're right wing and you're defending this guy, you're telling on yourself. Yeah. Period.
Just one more point that I want to share with you all. So this guy is so deplorable that even some Republicans are saying, maybe Trump should reconsider rehiring this guy who was previously fired in the first term. And so here's New York Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, okay, Republican, not a Democrat. Take a look.
I don't know who this guy is, quite frankly. You had me. What I'll say is, I defended Elon Musk tonight. I defended the Trump tariffs. I thought it was a good thing. It's getting our border secure, getting the job done. I don't know who this guy is, and certainly what you put up there and what he said, I think is inappropriate and disrespectful, and maybe he should be reconsidering that. But look, I think we need to be cautious, the people that we put into these positions of influence and power, and we need to make sure that they are going to be respectful of our nation's values. And it just seems to me that I don't know where this guy came from, quite frankly, so I'm not going to stand here and defend him.
And look, Susie Wiles managed to professionalize Donald Trump's campaign. I mean, it was certainly different from his 2016 campaign, which was far more chaotic and out of control. She seems to have, Trump under control in his second term to some extent, but I'm kind of shocked that she let this fly. Because this is not a good look for Trump at all.
That's funny you said that, Anna, because I thought of Susie Wiles as I was reading the article.
Yeah.
Because she's the one that is, for better or for worse, keeping the things in line, right? And I say for better or for worse because I don't know that you want Trump to be overly efficient and and do the things that he really wants to do in a way where he
will succeed
and won't get caught, etc. Right? This is them getting caught. This is them saying, yeah, we love white nationalists. That's why we picked this guy. By the way, there's another story in today's rundown of a very similar guy. So a couple of guys now that they're saying like, yeah, there are no rules left anymore. We'll just bring in like white nationalists to do public diplomacy for us. By the way, I have a quick prediction for you guys. And maybe this explains why Susie Wiles allowed it, or maybe it got past her, I don't know, right? I guarantee you this guy mainly says horrible things about every Muslim nation, about Palestinians, and does propaganda saying that America should hate all Muslims, and that'll be his public diplomacy. Because if you're looking for someone who's got no boundaries and no brakes in the car, and you want Muslims in the world attacked, then maybe you pick this guy.
Well, Democrats have also slammed him. Obviously, they would slam him, including Representative Jasmine Crockett. Here is her reaction to his tweet insisting that competent white men must be in charge.
He needs to go. The coddling is for the white boys. That's what's happening right now. I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel a way and why you can't make me doubt who I am? Is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder.
So she's getting a lot of applause for that. I can understand why. You want to fight back against disgusting racists. I don't love generalizing about any race, and I don't think it's helpful, and I think it leads to backlash, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. What do you think?
No, I agree. So look, the reason we like Jasmine Crockett is because she's strong, and I respect that, and I like that she's punching back, and this is the perfect guy to punch back against. So I appreciate all that. But when she says, tired of mediocre white boys, but now we're not talking about Beattie anymore. And now you made it general, and now we're back to not being on the moral high ground. And so I don't think that's effective. And I think it turns people off. And then this is the most winnable fight in the world.
Totally, yeah.
Right? So please, that's counterproductive.
Yeah, and look, I love her passion, and I think that she's well-spoken, and she has like the righteous take here, with the exception of the generalization of another, of a race, right? So like, take that part out, and it was perfect, totally fine.
Yeah, absolutely, and. Yeah, of course, minorities sometimes had to work harder to get to their place, to their roles that they're in and the status they're in. And that's why it's deeply frustrating when people say, oh, it must have been because of DEI or affirmative action. And that drives me crazy, right? But the right answer to that isn't, well, the white boys are mediocre, etc. The right answer is equality of opportunity and get rid of people like Beattie, and let's get back to a fair and just society.